the first time I had a chance to be here in this international seminars, and of course I'm very happy about that. So I'm trying to tell you shortly now about my experience 5 years in Austria, but not only Austria. I've been working in hockey since 60s. I started coaching 71, and it's been a long journey to study hockey, to study human being, to study coaching, leadership, and so on. So I will first give you a little background before I went to Austria, what I was thinking and where my thinking comes from. And then we'll go through that. But before that, I will give a couple comments of yesterday and today. And first of all, there was yesterday a long discussion about the game day practice. And I think that it's not so simple. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't do it. But when I was an assistant coach in Winnipeg, we used 3-4 months beginning of the season, the morning skate, to develop our skills. Because it's a long season, a lot of games, you don't have a lot of time to practice. So that's also one possibility to use it. So there was a Mr. Stefan Norris, is he here?
Yeah,
is he still here?
I'm not feeling so well.
Okay, but he gave me a chance to be a very critical. Maybe I'm critical, but he gave me a chance. He said yesterday that in hockey, especially with the children and young people, we are ignorant, stupid, and immoral. So I would add one more word. Hockey is a very conservative, comparing to many other sports right now. And another comment, there was a couple times came out how you start coaching. How I start coaching was the way I was coached. We start coaching how the coaches coach us if we are players. So actually the first years of coaching, you should outlearn to find your own voice. Hockey's role in a society was also yesterday. I would say that society's role in hockey. I think that's more important. So, Grüße von Vienna. I think that there is one man who was a very, very important the development of human race in the last 100 years. And I think he's exactly in a point that what we should learning more in hockey. There's a part of the hockey that we can't really scientifically understand. I've been working also in culture a little bit in theater and music and so I know that the art can explain the things that science can't. Especially books and theater and music too. So we should maybe think about that. So what I'm doing now, I'm explaining you a couple of words before we go to concrete to the Austria, that you know where I'm coming from. Okay, the second thing, what we are repeatedly do comes a habit. But it's not only that we all coaches know that the repetition is the road to good skills, for instance. Or if you want to be a good violin player, you start 3-4 years old, you practice 3-4 hours, rest of your life. And what we also know, not so much about sport, but other science or art. You have to practice your skills all your life. That you keep the stats of the skills, and also that when you have a high level of the skills, you can forget your skills when the game starts. And you can start concentrating to the game. And the situation was to face. The skills give you a potential to play, but the skills don't really play. You use them in a play. Also, how we think or how we behave, it comes a habit. How we react positive things, how we react to negative things, crises, winnings, losings. There's a lot of things in a life that we meet and we face. So how we handle these moments emotionally, subconscious, that comes a habit. It comes a reaction. We all coaches know, first period, we're losing 6-0 or 3-0 or something. Something comes up. And then we go to the dressing room. And after that, maybe we'll think, maybe that was not really right for that, what we did. But it's a reaction. We develop habits to react. Same as a player. And coach relationship to the player, in this case, is very important. Are you speaking with the player that he constantly sitting in a penalty box? Because it's a reaction, mostly. Excellence is a long way. But there's that's something that I hope that we start really discussing and really thinking about. There is 4 different hockey cultures. And the hockey cultures come from the society. We all know that the hockey is born in Canada. We all know that. We all know that we all learn the Canadians. In Finland, in everywhere. Tarasov, Tommy spoke here a little bit about Tarasov. I have to also comment in this moment, Tarasov. I knew him a little bit too. He was a great man. He actually created European hockey. With, there is one Swede, Arne Strömberg. There is some other people in Czechs, in Slovaks. Anyway, Tarasov, when they started to play hockey in Russia after Second World War, before they played bandy. So they were very good skaters already that time. They knew how to skate. But anyway, he wanted to learn hockey, so he went to Canada. He visited all the games and meet people and whatever. He came back. People asked him that there's a couple interviews about his experience. So how was it? He said, yes. How could they be if they would practice? I have the same experience back 70s, 80s when I went there first time. I visited in a couple training camps, 80s, and I have to say that I was amazed. There was a lot of players, a lot of scrimmage, and then pick up the team, no practices. But they learned fast. And now we know that they are good again. But I think that the impulse from European history and hockey was very important for that development. And like couple last world champions, we'll see. We've seen how good players Canadians can bring. Anyway, East Europe, Russia, Czechs, Slovaks, Scandinavia, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Norway, Central Europe, Germany, France, Switzerland, Austria, Italy, etc. All these three groups been developed to the hockey in a level that we have right now about 7-8 countries who compete always Olympics in a winning world championships. Then we have this Central Europe, and I had a long experience from Switzerland. It seems to that slowly Switzerland is coming to that higher group. Hockey never really been successful in Central Europe. It's a kind of a little bit strange because, like Austria, they have a long history from hockey. We didn't play hockey in Finland when they already has the Austrian-Hungary Habsburg time. Already they had a championship final game in Vienna, Vienna against Prague. So that was the former European Union. So anyway, so when we think about this, there is all kinds of today's hockey. There is drills, there's systems, drills off ice, on ice. There's different systems, but actually all these technical, tactical things we all know. And if you don't know, you can learn them. Open the internet, go to the seminars. But through the drills and through the systems, you don't actually dictate what kind of hockey you play. What kind of atmosphere is in a team. It comes from the culture where the hockey is played. And the big global business is a good example today. If they have different companies all over the different countries, the boss of that company comes from that country where this company is. Even the headquarters is somewhere else. So anyway, there's a certain things that we should take a little bit more serious that in sport up to now. Different religions, different political system in society. Democracy as a word means different for different people. Management leadership style. All these guys who've been coached by different coaches coming from different nationalities know what that means. School systems are different. There are some countries that you can't really practice in the daytime, the children or youngs, because they're in school. And then there is countries that the school and the hockey is together. Individual versus collective teams. That's a huge difference if we think about the coaching style from Scandinavia, North America, Russia, for instance. There's a huge difference. Even there is the same skills, same drills, same systems, same videos, but the emotional message, body language, and so we can long list. How is the hockey in ranking? Soccer, we know all that Germany is the best country in soccer. Everybody's winning, but then the end up comes Deutschland. So, history of ice hockey. There's a long history of hockey in Canada, also in some countries in Europe. I think that the Austria, Czechs, Slovaks, and Switzerland was the first who maybe England. Maybe first Canadians came to England. So anyway, EF ranking is different, number of players, number of rings. That's right. So I think that's a very important message. So I went couple more things. We heard every time that scientifically it's like that, it's like that, it's like that. But usually sport is in the left side. Rational side, numbers, logic, biology, physiology, testing. But what we actually need, we need the right side. We need to understand the culture, philosophy, sociology, behavior, studying, psychiatry, medicine, history, art, management, leadership. So there is not really balance. For instance, testing, we do a lot of testing, and then we have some average. So average means nobody. Actually, it's a nobody. We know we can compare the average of the endurance or aerobic average for Finland and Sweden, but that doesn't mean anything because it's no player. It's an average from testing. So anyway, we should get a better balance from, and I'm sure right now maybe it's a little bit hard to say, but I can sense that last years we've been slowly taking steps that we start giving the game back to the player. We start giving game back to the coaches. It's been taken away. We leave right now the entertainment business, professional sport. It's a big, huge business. The player is instrument, object, used. Coaches, they need coaches to blame somebody. Coach is the only one in this business who gets fired. Players get the next team, higher level or lower level. Owners sell the club or no, don't sell, but nobody gets fire coaches, owners. Coaches are only who get fired. So good luck for your life. So there was one famous coach who said that many years ago. Not so many, but anyway. He said that don't give the game to the players. They will destroy it. That kind of attitude, I think we are slowly moving to the other direction. When I was listening here yesterday and today, I can sense that the human being as a player, as a coach is coming back because that all started that. When I was young in the 60s in Finland, we didn't have any coach. We asked somebody to bring sticks and open the door. And we practice and play. So then came the time with the coaches. That was a good step. Then we started slowly practicing. Then they decided that the game has to be organized. Game has to be controlled. And the players went smaller and smaller room. After that, first was players, then was coaches, was still there. Then came managers and owners. So it's a long history from in 100 years, from amateur sport. I'm speaking mostly in Europe because in Canada it was a kind of manager lead sport already in the beginning of 19th century. So I think we should go a little bit, start going back. managers and owners to understand that they manage, they bring the resources, they bring the possibility that the coaches can coach. And I don't know if you can look at, but this is my most important thing is this board. Okay, so this is like a small micro thinking about play, actually game. We all want to develop the play, how we play, how the individuals play, how the team play. We have a management level, owners. We have leadership level, coaches, and we have players. Players, coaches, players, coaches. Here is the contract side, and here is the okay. All these different management, leadership, players, all they want to develop the play and the game and be successful. But very often they have a different motivations, different goals. I'm not so sure that all these are going to the same direction in many teams. I've been in many teams. I coached maybe 3,000 players in my life. If you don't get the integration here, today's sport is going to be very difficult for the players. Actually, the players are the people who do the act. And what's the difference between business and sport? We need business, but what is the difference between business and sport? Okay, take like a bicycle factory. The worker is producing bicycles, but in a hockey team, player is using himself as a player. So actually he's responsible about his own development. We should get back there, that the player is autonomic, learn, take a responsibility, respect his talent, etc., etc. So this is kind of like a micro level. Then we have a huge macro level. We have all the show business, we have the owners, we have fans, we have media, TV, we have families, etc., etc. And all these has an effect, players, coaches, management, business. So as a coach, of course you can't, when you just third period is starting, you can't think about the management and the media and all that. You have to think about your work. But it's not very easy today's sport to be a coach, to be a player, even to the general manager. So there was a today also, or yesterday, I guess it was a power of the coach. Where is the power of the coach? It's inside the ice rink. It's inside the ice or bench. That's most of his power. He can run some decisions of the personnel. He can run the drills. He can run the systems. But nobody's really interested about what kind of drills he's doing. Is the team winning? So his power is very, very much sport, but it's direct from other side, from the business side. So the sport concept and the business concept, this discussion, we should really go through and understand that sport is same like an art. You need a producer If you want to make a film, you need a producer. But after that comes a director who makes the movie. Okay. What happened? Okay. This is a long story, but and it's a very old. I did this in I think it was '84 after Sarajevo Olympics. There was a seminar in York University in Toronto about all the coaches from Olympics to explain a little bit how what's the approach to hockey. So very, very simple. We should be able to help the player, individual player, to grow up, to develop. Because then he could be a better player. He could use his skills, his talent, if he would be self-autonomic, develop as a person. We can't hope that if we develop player as a hockey player, that he same time develops himself as a human being in all these circumstances where we are. No, we have to help him. So anyway, the act of play, we should be able to make the player free to play. Release him, that he feels comfortable. The old style, we force the player to play. We use fear. Sometimes you have to be critical, sometimes you have to be negative. Sometimes the young guys need a little wake-up call, whatever. But if you want to really play the game, you have to be in the game. And you have to be free, then you can be creative. And you all know that sometimes you come to the point that suddenly you know we're going to be winning. Suddenly you all know that on the bench or a dressing room there's a feeling that now we're going, and nobody can stop. But if you also know the other feeling, depressed, watching timing, how long this game's still going, thinking his private things and blah, blah, blah. It's tough because of so many games today. Flow doesn't mean that the game is a flow. It means that you are emotionally in a flow. You are in a state of mind that you can. Actually, there is a very old Eastern saying, you want to focus, empty your mind. Then what you are exactly this moment doing, then you focus for that. But if your mind is full of, for instance, 1 hour video before the game, I don't think it's a very good idea. Okay, just half an hour ago, the same thing was said here. We are going and we are in a performing culture. We are not in a factory culture. We are not in industrialism. We are not making, you know, probably you know what Taylorism means. So there's a couple more things. Team. What is team? It's never be ready. Even you be a Stanley Cup winner, you're not ready because then comes the next season, team is never really, it leaves, it's infinite. But what is most important is that it's a social human construction first. And then combination of tactics, systems, drills. It's a social gathering with coaches and with staff and the players. So all this energy, what goes through, comes from human to human. Constant growth development is not possible all the time. So coach is for sure the leader of the social construction process with good drills, with good systems, on ice, off ice. You need all these basic things, but after that you have to be able to lead human beings. Already today, communication, that's the key. Monologue, old style. Coaches, old style, they used to perform for the team in the dressing room and hoping that how good they perform there, that inspires the team. It's a one way to do it. But I think the dialogue, human to human, is more... there's a couple other words, it's wrong. There should be reading subject and object. As a coach, you have to understand that the player is a subject, human being, who try to live his life. Don't make him object of your own ambitions. It's a very important thing. Subject means that you have your own life, you lead your own life, you make your decisions. And so anyway, player is a performer. From old style mechanistic idea to holistic idea. Ganzheitlich auf Deutsch. We are not only Homo sapiens, we are thinking, we were working. What's the relationship between work and play and a game, for instance? We don't have time to really discuss about that, think about that. When the game is working, when it's playing, what's the difference between that? Creating. I think that we are living right now at a situation that we need that very much in the world, everywhere. To be creative, to create something. We need some new things. Homo ludens, playing like a children playing. When you're playing like a children, then you lose the time. You're not anymore hungry. You lose everything around you. You just concentrate for playing. And the playing is probably the most important thing in a children's life. They really make themselves by playing, not by... Playing is for children work. And business, we all know that it's today's life, everything is around that. Okay, then we go to the Austria. I've been there 5 years. I've never been before there. I knew Austria has a long, good hockey history. And I tried to find out more when I went there. The first 6 months, I travel everywhere. I meet people, talk people, see games, try to see what's going on. And believe me, it was not easy. I was surprised. Okay. When they hired me, there was I get all kinds of things. You have to change, you have to change, you have to do all kinds of things. Okay, knowing the persons, how it was structured and what was the know-how. Of course, right away the change created resistance. And all 5 years I fight against that. Because of course, first you can do small changes, but then you want to do a big changes, then you have to change the people. That's the reality in life. And nobody wants to go. Anyway. Hard facts. This is done, we created then the project 2012, 2017, 5 years, and now it's done. There is some hard facts about the situation. Number of talented players, full-time professional coaches, quality, quantity of practices, games, sport concept, business concept, international ranking, quality and quantity, in practice, in infrastructure, hockey rinks, and so on. 4,000 players, 40 arenas, 60% foreign players in EBL, all teams foreign coaches, 4 million. Finland, we have 65,000 players, we got 300 arenas, we have about maybe 20, 25 foreign players, we got 25 million budget in a fair fund. So that Austria is doing as well as they're doing, it's amazing. If you think about it. But also it's amazing that Switzerland wins the Canada. Also it's amazing that Finland wins the Canada. If you just look at the numbers. Okay, so here is the more or less what we decided to do. This was accepted, the boardroom in a league and also in a federation. We have to create Austrian identity. That means that we need more Austrian coaches, we need more Austrian players, special speaking German special with the juniors. Because you have to know a little bit the culture, you have to be able to communicate with the families, the schools and whatsoever. National team is a premium product. If we want to raise the hockey higher, the national team has to be in A pool, U20 people, A pool. But then the people and media and the children start interested. Big thing here, creating synergy between clubs, EBL league, federation, hockey people. What is the modern ice hockey philosophy? Micro, macro state, we discuss about short-term, long-term development. Hockey is a year-round sport, individual versus team sport. Head coach is the boss in all sport activities. They used to have all national teams referent and general managers, our own budget, and nobody was really saying where they go. Ice rink project. Main subject. Very, very important is that we have a good league. The players can play. Second league is good. U20, 18, 16, 14. Coaching development. We changed that. We took all professional players. We started together working with the Vierumäki Finland. The first 1 year course is now done. Second already started. In 2 years we have 30 professional Austrian coaches. Creating mentoring program. We have done that 3 years. Coaches clinic twice a year, up to date for the coaches, where the things is going. Mentoring club that you visit every club, and every year we reach about 200, 250 coaches. year-round sport, extra project, off ice didn't work. Referees, it's not in our hand, it's in the league. Ice spinning project, little bit start. Result teams and so. So the one thing is missing here. So we need a good league for Austrian players. We need Austrian coaches coaching. Who knows the country, who knows the players who speak. We need more Austrian players because of the fans. The national team players need ice. You can't be a good international player if you don't play a good national team program, good league, important role, and the coaches. So one thing is missing. We wanted that in 10 years we take the transfer cards to 5 to 4, like in Switzerland. Not one club accepted that. So we're still missing that our best young players could play in a league. There is I'm sorry I have to tell this, for instance, one president told me that, we asked that about this situation, he said, yeah, it's much cheaper to get foreign players than to build up our own players. So what are you going to do? So it's a big problem. It's a big problem in many Middle European countries. We need a lot of good know-how from every country. We need good players. We need good coaches. But the identity has to be owned. Then you can really be one of the best countries in the world. You have an identity. Here, that's what we planned 5 years ago. It's almost done. Even here, we have now the second league, Alpen League, together with different countries. Coaches program is going, clinic is going, mentoring is going, international coaches. How much time? 30 minutes? 3 minutes. Oh. I would like to speak another half an hour. Okay, so anyway, okay, so we finish here. Common vision, where you want to bring your hockey. What is success? That's my last thing. I can do that. Okay. What is success? I have to think about what is success. We heard about here already yesterday, today, what is success? Is the country success? It's a team success. It's a coach's success. It's a player's success. Or it's a fan's success. There's so many different elements in a sport that you can have. Yeah, we were very successful. We have 5,000 fans in a game. Success. Okay. Team wins the championship. Has a success. Coach is successful. Player gets a national team or NHL or get big money. He has a success. So don't speak so much about success. Speak about development. What's the next state? Common vision. Business concepts, sport concepts. Priorities. Federation, regional federations, league and clubs have to work together, have the same vision. Nobody owns hockey because hockey game is unique. It comes and it goes. You can never really repeat it. Hockey game happens only when it's played. It doesn't exist It's not material. So nobody owns that. Nobody owns coaches development plan, players development plan. It's on the way, but it should be better. So it was a very difficult 5 years, but I learned a lot about myself. I've been a burnout a couple times already before in my when I was coaching. It's always hanging there, you know. All coaches, you all know that. It's there, it's near. But I learned a lot about also the situation in Middle European hockey. You have all the chances to be successful. There's a lot of people, a lot of fans, but you have to start understanding how you do it. Not only by drills, not only by systems. You have to give really the power to the players and the coaches back to develop that. And it's not very easy. We know that. So anyway, stop. She's saying stop. Okay. Thank you very much. If there one question, can we have?
Yeah, we have more questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so far. We always have time for questions. So are there some questions? Oh, over there.
Hi. I'm just wondering, did your women's program, was your women's program in the same restructure as the whole of your men's program for the 5 years?
No. Women's program is working very autonomous outside the federation. We give them money and support, and we help them. But they have their own.
Did they want their own, or was it just because they split? Who made the decision?
It's done before. It was there.
More questions? So, Alpo, what you're actually basically saying is you have to create an identity as a country, no? A hockey identity, your own identity as a country.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but in a theory, but in a concrete, that means that coaches and the players have to be from that country.
Exactly. Okay.
Plus all the other what we can have in a global world, but not other way around.